Dopamine is an incredibly powerful molecule that allows us to buffer the effort process. It allows us to be in effort longer, and it allows us to actually eventually enjoy the process of effort and not think about the reward, but just say, oh, I'm enjoying the process, where you just describe the first step. The first step in learning to attack dopamine to be effort process, which is the key operation in order to succeed, is to be very careful about how much you focus on the end goal. And save your thoughts. If you have having time controlling your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotion, your feeling trigger, you are feeling like everything bearing down you. Do something to shift your philosophy so that you can approach that challenge from a different stance. If you were to instruct someone to do the worst possible things in the morning to set them up for failure, that would it be? Stay in bed, curtain rose, passively scrolling on social media. They are drinking coffee early in the day. They are getting into any cab movement, sort of making a coffee while testing, and they're not being a deliverer or intense with all the things they are doing. They're just allowing the morning to come and take them wherever the wind blows. That's right, and I have to say, even I thought I described my routine accurately, my morning routine accurately. If I were to really automate it, I would. What is the morning routine look like at the moment? Morning routine is, and I have to be careful here because whenever I describe my routine in a little bit of detail, people will say, I can't believe when you go to the bathroom as well, like, but my pen on exactly right foot, left foot, so I want to be clear, yes, I will take care of my basic function. But when I wake up, I make beeline for sunlight. So I'm going to sunlight to my eye for the new, I will show you the phrase saying this. Forgive me if you have heard me this before, but the saying your best you think you can do for your sleep, your energy, your mood, your wakefulness, your metabolism is to get natural light in your eyes in early in the day. Don't wear sunglasses to do it. Takes about 10 minutes or so. If you live in a cold area, if you're in the UK in the winter, yes, or in the summer, we may resort to some artificial light replacement as much as you can get bright, natural, and if not natural, artificial light in your eyes early in the day. Without sunglasses, contacts, and eyeglasses are fine. Don't try and do it through a window which are going to take far too long. They set in motion a huge number of different neurological and hormonal cancer that are good for you, reduce stress at late at night, upset cortisol, or a million different things. Really, they are good for you. So I get it. So I come back inside and then I do not drink caffeine right away. So it's important in many ways to delay caffeine enough so that you can clear out some of the chemical signal in the brain and body that lead to a feeling of fidget. That's that longer you are awake, the more of cold that cold adrenaline build up in your system, and when you sleep, you burst that adrenaline level back down. When you wake up in the morning, that adrenaline level can be zero, but sometimes they still have some hanging around. Caffeine is an adenosine antagonist. Its block adenosine function is a little more complicated than that, but that's effectively what it does. So if you wake up, yeah, you got 20% of your adenosine has still had been cleared out the stuff of drowsiness that you woke up with. Then you go out that and drink coffee and you cross them that ability of adenosine to have a side effect which hasn't gone away. So that when your coffee wears off mid-morning, now that adrenaline is there and you feel like there's a mid-morning crash or an afternoon crash, so I delay my caffeine intake for about 90 and I delay 120 minutes if after I wake up, because in that way you bring your adrenaline level down very low to zero, and then you don't get this rebound crash in the afternoon. For years, I would get this post-lunch crash, and I would maybe I'm eating too much for lunch, would I really say, or maybe I'm eating the wrong food, and about it will overreach my timing of caffeine, and your system learn how to wake up naturally, right? You get a natural cortisol and adrenaline, give it the time. And people hate this one because it's a little painful for caffeine addict, but I'm pretty pressure caffeine addict, and I'm a president. I will tell you, it also make the choice coffee is so much greater. Waiting for that still several years like oh my first take so much better. That relates to the dopamine system, which I know we are going to talk about later. Just how triggering our phone when it comes to dopamine. Okay, question. We often hear that the social media getting dopamine hits after dopamine hit. when we first get on social media, after a while, for the first time, after a long period of time, the amount of people that's released, we think it's with substantial. It's novel. Remember, dopamine is about novelty, surprise, and the sense that we are on some exciting track. That's what dopamine is really about. It's what it's worth of greediness, anticipation, looking, seeking, and always almost away for things outside the confines of our skin. One of the key takeaways from that book, Domination, that book incorporated in my of life that care certain activities like cold water that's great long lasting and dopamine doesn't be very useful for lasting us into long lasting motivational states. They are not big peaks and trough, they are the pain of the cold water followed by this the long of dopamine. Wonderful, it's kind of antidepressant with the motivator, natural symptoms. And I would say if you don't have a statue and aspect, could shower yes, where you work if you have a shower then doesn't get in the cold enough. Keep in mind that the original study showing this dopamine increase had people get into city water which is not that cold for 45 to an hour. So whether will might go up, but you could just draw cow could make and get in that your neck. So could I agree that there's some cast warriors people they're not everyone had an eyes about. And I have to say even I thought I describe my routine I couldn't my morning routine I couldn't if I were to really automate it and I have this done from time to time. I would get up, I would hydrate and I would immediately exercise. I would use that early you know beginning of cortisol response that come with waking to get the body into action set up to Winkle style, right? For the team, I always say his but I said them at 7 a.m. Yeah, recently. Let's say somebody really want to take on a fitness routine. They had running or they want to lose weight in a healthy way. This kind of things. So we have heard the example where you put your shoe on by on day one, day two you put them on, day three you go out the door, therefore you walk around the block and then and eventually like they are running marathon. Okay, but so substandard behavior or the event to make the behavior releaseful and go to give you energy. The key is to subjectively reward the step. So it's not going to be let's say I go out and I run a while. Well, and my goal is run 10 miles in a few weeks. The case that you in the strength of that mile, the hard part. When you tell yourself, this is the good part. This is the part. Not give me energy and I will be very subside if people don't actually feel like they could continue further. So it's a journey of 1,000 miles. We start with single is make you off of single step, but in the case you reward a hard step, not the easy one and not the ones you where you can get the thing that you want. Don't reward yourself for putting your shoes on and taking a step outside. You could if that was a huge barrier for you, it was right if it was hard for you running the 10 mile further and push a little bit further to that one reward that person. There's a hard part because when it really interference are getting mass out and that way you have an opportunity to bring dopamine in and take those neural pathways to slam back down. The other elements that really important to plasticity is that is this rest phrase and it associated with the release of the molecular neuromodulator serotonin. Serotonin is a reward molecule, just like dopamine, except that is released in the brain in response to the subjective experience that we have enough resolve. So when we eat a big meal, or we enjoy and whether we enjoy meal with friends or family, and it feel like one of those incredible things, you're reset. Yeah, this is a feeling of being reset. And a 10% effect when you hold, if you hold your child or partner that you love or your dog, this feeling of having enough. And so whereas dopamine is really the molecule that makes us looking at things outside the boundaries of our skin to let to be pursuit of things. It's really in a pursuit motivational molecule. Serotonin is really about feeling like we have enough in our immediate environment. And it's so powerful because unless that dope that's kill me that's returning box is check off very rarely we can lead back into the dopamine hour but should be set for very long so we need serotonin absolutely to feel more what complete whole self. You need to balance serotonin and dopamine maybe across the day maybe across the week, I think in It shows that process our rituals really let kind of Sabbath days or rest of period, for many I think all of them make sense because they need to be a renewal.